Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a real conservation success story.
Yeah, we're talking about the Apache trout.
It's a pretty amazing comeback, actually, and
It is.
we're going to find out how it went from the brink of extinction to, well, thriving today.
Absolutely. And it's Arizona state fish, so it's a pretty big deal.
It is.
Yeah.
So what's so special about the Apache trout? Why should we care about this one little fish?
Well, first off, it's beautiful. I mean, really striking. Golden yellow body, kind of shimmering with these black spots all over.
Oh, I can picture that, like a little living jewel.
Exactly. And then the fins have this elegant white edging.
Wow. And this beauty's tied to its habitat, right? I mean, where does a fish like that even live?
You find them in these cool, clear mountain streams high up in Arizona's White Mountains. They need that really cold, oxygen-rich water.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's this perfect match, the fish and its environment.
It is, and it's not just about looks either. The Apache trout, it holds this deep cultural significance for the White Mountain Apache tribe.
I was going to ask about that. I'd heard there was a special connection there.
Oh yeah, it's woven into their creation stories. Represents the interconnectedness of life, their spiritual connection to the natural world.
So this fish is a symbol of something much bigger.
Absolutely. And it's been a part of their traditions and ceremonies, even their diet, for generations.
Wow, that's incredible. But then things took a turn, right? This iconic fish almost disappeared. How did that happen?
Well, like a lot of conservation stories, it's complicated. Human impact played a big role. It all started in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Overfishing was a problem, definitely.
Yeah, too many people taking too many fish. Classic problem.
Right, but then you add habitat degradation on top of that. Logging, mining, changing the landscape.
So their home was literally being destroyed.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And as if that wasn't enough, they introduced these non-native trout species.
Oh no, like what kind?
Rainbow trout, brown trout.
And those were a problem.
Big problem. They competed with the Apache trout for food and space, and they were aggressive about it.
So these new trout were pushing the Apache trout out of their own home.
Exactly. And then, to make matters worse, they started interbreeding. Hybridization, they call it.
So diluting the pure Apache trout bloodline.
Exactly. And by the mid-20th century, things were looking really grim. They were only hanging on in a few isolated streams.
So almost gone. But they didn't disappear, so something must have changed. How did they start to bring the Apache trout back?
Well, people started realizing how serious the situation was. Conservation efforts picked up in the 1950s, but the real turning point, it was 1973 when they put the Apache trout on the endangered species list.
That makes sense. Official recognition, a need for action.
Yeah, and that really spurred a massive collaborative effort.
Who all got involved?
Oh, everybody. Federal and state agencies, the White Mountain Apache tribe, of course.
I bet their expertise was invaluable.
It was. They knew the land, the fish, and then conservation organizations, even local fishing enthusiasts. Everyone had a stake in saving this fish.
So a real team effort. And what did this dream team actually do?
They had a multi-pronged approach. First off, they focused on restoring the damaged habitats.
Makes sense. Got to fix the home before you invite the residents back.
Right. Cleaning up debris, planting native vegetation, even restructuring the stream channels.
Wow, like reconstructing their whole world.
Pretty much. And then there was the issue of those non-native trout.
Yeah, the unwelcome guests, how they deal with that.
They used all sorts of techniques. Electrofishing to stun them temporarily so they could be removed. Netting.
And they were just taking them out completely.
Yeah, they had to reduce their numbers. In some cases, they even introduced sterile fish.
Whoa, to disrupt their breeding cycles. Clever.
It worked. But restoring the habitat and managing the non-natives, that was just part of the solution.
What else did they do?
They started captive breeding programs, raising Apache trout in controlled environments.
So like a safety net, making sure there were enough fish to reintroduce.
Exactly. And all that work, it paid off. They actually downlisted the Apache trout from endangered to threatened in 1975.
That's amazing. A real success story.
It is. And today, you can actually fish for Apache trout in designated areas.
Oh, wow. So they're back to a healthy enough population to allow that.
They are, but it's strictly regulated, of course. You got to make sure it's sustainable.
Of course. So the Apache trout, from almost extinct to a species you can fish again. That's incredible.
It really shows what's possible with dedicated conservation efforts.
But it's not over yet, right? There are still challenges ahead.
Unfortunately, yeah. Climate change is a big one.
Ah, right. Warming temperatures affecting their cold water stream.
Exactly. Those streams are shrinking, and that's a huge problem for the Apache trout.
And I imagine those invasive species are still lurking.
Oh, yeah, they're a constant threat. Keeping them in check, protecting that delicate balance in the ecosystem.
So it's a never-ending battle. But even with those challenges, the story of the Apache trout is so inspiring.
It is. It shows that even when things seem hopeless, we can make a difference.
It's about resilience, working together, understanding that everything's connected.
Exactly. And it makes you think, what can we do in our own communities to help other species?
Yeah, what can we learn from this success story?
Even small actions can have a big impact. We can all be part of protecting our planet.
Absolutely. So, listeners, what can you do? Think about that.
And that's our deep dive for today.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.